ligature number 3 is on the specimen site. You are required to cut the gallbladder in between the ligature number 2 and ligature number 3. Always remember that, and I do not know if I can, but if I can, I will remove the gallbladder like this. So this is how the 3 ligatures are placed. 2 on the patient side, 1 on the specimen side. Please remember this part. Both this applies to the artery as well as the duct. Have you completed, please?
Done, sir.
The next step, the gallbladder is dissected from the liver bed and hemostasis attained. There are various ways of dissection: diathermy, finger dissection, sutures, many things. But whatever is done is that, and the hemostasis is attained. Then the drains, or not drains, one drain is placed in the hepatorenal pouch of Morrison, and the abdomen is now, or no, sorry, before the, just a minute. Point number 10, the bile duct is palpated for stones, and if CBD stone is palpated, and open CBD exploration is done. Please write here, see the class on T-tube in the instrument. In the class on T-tube in instrument and X-ray, this is something that we will be reading about. How is a CBD exploration done? Not today. Because in an operative in MBBS, I have rarely seen CBD exploration to be an MBBS operative. Majority of times you are asked about a CBD exploration is along with a T-tube in the operative, in the instrument table or in an X-ray table. So this is all about the CBD stones. Number 7, hemostasis is attained and the abdominal closure is done. This completes the full description. If you have completed, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in the ward completion, we have been asked that is there any other way to search for the stone in the common bile duct except for the T-tube cholangiogram during the operation?
During the operation, you do a T-tube cholangiogram. Have you done my class on CBD stone in the theory class?
Yes, sir.
Then see that in the theory class, I have given you that detailed answer about how do you suspect a CBD stone before the operation. Say for example, in this one also I told you today that in the pre-operative we do an LFT. Remember? The LFT, if it shows you an alphas more, that means there may be CBD stone, and then you do an MRCP. MRCP is going to tell you before the operation whether there is a CBD stone or not.
No, so they are asking during the operation.
During the operation, very simple. During the operation, if you want to know whether there is a CBD stone, the best route is you palpate. This is the best route. Now, if you say, sir, I'm not very happy with the palpation, now this is the time that you cross the MBBS boundary, an honest answer. Because an MBBS student should not know anything more than this. If you are still wanting to know what we do, and this is something that we do not do, is that we go for something called as an on-table cholangiogram. Now, on-table cholangiograms in open operation were stopped in 1960s. So if the examiner is still stuck in 1960, then very sad for him, because we do an MRCP nowadays before the operation. And now, as I've said, palpation of the stone has more sensitivity compared to an on-table cholangiogram. So if your teacher is wanting to hear the answer on-table cholangiogram, that is the answer to detect during an open CBD, sir. If you are doing a laparoscopic gallbladder, that is a total different ball game. That is a total different perspective altogether. But majority of surgeons across the world, including your teachers, will do an MRCP before the operation to detect a CBD stone. Intraoperatively, there are other methods, but remember, please attend the class on T-tube and instruments or during the X-rays. We'll be again talking CBD stones in details. Like after the CBD stones are removed, there is an important investigation called as a choledocoscopy. What is choledocoscopy? How is a choledocoscopy helpful in taking out a residual stone? Those things. But majority, please remember, please answer palpate. Please palpate the bile duct. This is the most simple, foolproof technique that is there to detect a CBD stone during the palpation, during the cholecystectomy.
Thank you, sir.
So this completes your
Sir, is there any evidence of whether open chole can be done in spinal anesthesia? I was reading an article on ResearchGate which mentions.
You should not be reading that. Number one, sir, we should not be talking non-standardized things in an MBBS exam. I have done cholecystectomies under local anesthesia. That does not make it standard. So in an MBBS exam, always talk standard things that the examiner should know and is done across world, with books mentioning general anesthesia with endotracheal intubation. Come to the next of the operation, something called as a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Now, to begin with, I feel this is something that a MBBS student should not be asked. Though laparoscopy cholecystectomy is the current gold standard of cholecystectomy, but still I do not feel any importance of teaching this to an undergraduate student, because you are not taught the details of a physiology of laparoscopy, and hence I do not feel it is a good practice to teach something half-hearted. Now, but still, your exams demand you to be taught. So the indications of a laparoscopic cholecystectomy are the same as an open cholecystectomy, except one point of contention. If you talk about contraindications, as I have said, the contraindications are: number one, general anesthesia or the patient is unfit for GA technically means, please remember, if the patient is unfit for GA, also means the patient is unfit for spinal anesthesia, also means the patient is unfit even for a local anesthesia. This is as simple as that. If the patient is unfit for a GA, the general anesthesia is the most easy form of anesthesia that can be controlled. Spinal anesthesia and local anesthesia are things that are not to be known by you. So please unnecessarily do not mention these in exams. Spinal anesthesia will come when you talk about hernia surgery. Hydrocele, I told you today morning, is under local anesthesia. Rest of the operations are done under GA. So if the patient is unfit for GA, no question of having a cholecystectomy. Number 2, uncontrolled coagulopathy. Uncontrolled coagulopathy is something that is an contraindication for GA. The third one is a suspected cancer of gallbladder. Now this is a contraindication because if by any chance there is a spillage of bile during the extraction of the gallbladder, remember that bile spillage is much more common during a laparoscopic procedure. Open gallbladder, it is expected that bile spillage should not occur until and unless the surgeon is bad. And in a cancer, if bile is spilled, that means the cancer has spread to the whole abdomen. So this completes the story. Complete?
Last point I will.
Sir, if the patient has a gallbladder cancer, remember that the bile also has cancer. So during the cholecystectomy, if you puncture the gallbladder, phat gaya gallbladder, the bile will be in the peritoneal cavity. Now, if there is a cancer, that means all the cancer cells are now in the peritoneal cavity. In an open operation, the advantage is that everything is in your control. Even if there is a small leak in the gallbladder, immediately you can take away that bile. But during a laparoscopic operation, things will not at all be in your control. So, in a suspected cancer, please do not do a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Chalo. Now talk about the steps of the operation. As I've said, MBBS students should know the principles only, not details of the operation. This is a postgraduate operation that even my postgraduates humble to tell. When I teach postdoctoral students, that is the time when I teach lab chole in details. When you talk about steps of the operation, the step number 1 is the position of the patient. Oh, before that, sorry, I should have said that. The step number 1 is anesthesia. And in a laparoscopy, as I have said, the anesthesia is always general anesthesia with endotracheal intubation. Anything special in the honors question? Yes. The anesthesiologist has an instrument called as a capnometer, something that you are taught in your anesthesia MCQs. And capnometer is for measuring something called as end tidal carbon dioxide, which is mandatory during a procedure called laparoscopy, because the gas that you are using is carbon dioxide to establish something called as a pneumoperitoneum. So these are things that you have not understood till now. So just remember the name, blindly remember the name, called as EtCO2, end tidal carbon dioxide. Point number Sir, capnometer is an instrument that measures the amount of carbon dioxide, called as end tidal carbon dioxide, because laparoscopy uses a gas. The gas is carbon dioxide, and the gas is used to make the abdomen bloated with gas. We'll come to that in next step. The position of the patient for doing a laparoscopic cholecystectomy is always head elevated. That means anti-Trendelenburg. The right side of the abdomen is elevated. So that means the head of the patient is elevated and the right side of the abdomen is elevated. So this is how the position of the patient is done. Okay. Now this is done only for a better exposure. That is all that you should know. Chalo. Come to the next one. Then there are 4 ports that are made. 4 ports that are made. The word port mane window. Port mane window. Now, where are the 4 ports made? The first port is made at the umbilicus. The size of the port is 10 millimeter and is used for
Camera.
the camera during the operation. The second port is called as sub-xiphoid. People call this as epigastric. And this is always a 10 millimeter port for the right hand of the surgeon. The third port is a 5 millimeter port in the mid-clavicular line. And this is for the left hand of surgeon. The fourth port is in the anterior axillary line. Is a 5 millimeter port for fundal traction. So there are 4 ports that are required: umbilicus, sub-xiphoid, 5 millimeter in mid-clavicular line, the third port, and the fourth port in the anterior axillary line. If you have completed writing, then we'll proceed. The third step is
সার্জেন কে লেফট সাইডে দাঁড়াবে পেশেন্টের
yes. The fourth point is a carbon dioxide pneumoperitoneum is done. That means the abdomen is inflated with carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide is inflated into the abdomen for exposure of organs and facilitation of laparoscopy. The advantage of carbon dioxide is it is rapidly absorbed in the blood and is rapidly excreted. And hence I hope you have understood why do you need the N-tidal carbon dioxide, EtCO2. Number second advantage is it is cheap, is a second advantage. Number 3, it is non-combustible. That means you can use electricity or diathermy in this patient, because if you use oxygen or room air, the problem is this will produce a fire. Remember that oxygen promotes combustion. In the abdomen, we cannot make that filled up with oxygen because that will promote a fire inside the abdomen. That will not be a very happy news. You will be in the newspaper then. So this is the reason we take carbon dioxide. The only disadvantage of carbon dioxide is that patients who have a background of a COPD or a heart disease, for this group of patients, the blood carbon dioxide level is already more. So it will lead to more carbon dioxide in blood, and that is a bad effect. But still, nowadays we still use carbon dioxide because we have good monitoring devices. But this was a disadvantage in the past.
স্যার
Okay, so if you have
মোনোট্রিটিনিয়ামটা কি ফাস্ট ফুড দিয়ে করি?
So it depends. People usually I use the first port in making that, some use the second port in making that. It's a totally depends upon the surgeon. Usually the first port.
ডায়াটার্মি আর পটারি সেম জিনিস?
No, not exactly, but for you, yes. Chalo, come to the next point. Can I proceed, sir?
Yes, sir.
The fifth point is the Calottes triangle is dissected with a right hand of the surgeon. I hope the surgeon is right-handed, with a Maryland dissecting forceps, whereas the left hand of the surgeon uses something called as a non-tooth grasper. So this is how the Calottes triangle is dissected. After dissection, the view called critical view of safety must be attained. What is this critical view of safety? It means that this is one tube, and consider that this is another tube. Please see that in this picture there is two tubes entering the gallbladder. Until and unless you have this kind of a vision, your dissection is incomplete and unsafe. This view is called as the critical view of safety and must be followed to avoid bile duct injury. If you have completed writing, then I will proceed.
Done, sir.
The cystic duct
Sir, two tubes stuff
two tubes. Sir, one tube, the cystic duct, and another tube, the artery. So one tube is the cystic duct and another tube is the artery. These are the two tubes. Sure. Now, the cystic duct and the artery are ligated using titanium clips. Why do I take a titanium clip? Because
পরে এমআরআই করা যাবে।
it is not ferromagnetic. This is the answer that examiners want to hear. Why can't you tie it with a suture? You can, but it is very difficult to do it in a laparoscopy. Try to eat a plate of rice with a chopstick and then you will know how much is it difficult. So Cystic duct and artery are ligated using a titanium clip, which is not a ferromagnetic. And future, if you want to do an MRI, you can do this. If you use an iron clip, you cannot do an MRI. Step 8, the gallbladder is dissected from the liver bed using hook or spatula diathermy. What are these? You are not required to know, just know the names of them. Hook looks like a hook. The word spatula looks like in your chemistry apparatus a spatula. Both of these are called as diathermy. Finally, number 9, hemostasis is attained and number 10, a drain is placed in hepatorenal pouch of Morrison. The ports are closed 10 millimeter ports are closed with suture. 5 millimeter ports do not need a closure. They do not produce any problems. Please tell me when you have completed.
Done, sir.
Done? Sure. This is all about the steps of a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Now, post-operative care. This is common to both lap and open. Point number 1, analgesics. Point number 2, antibiotics to prepare. Antibiotics like cefuroxime for 3 days. Number 3, early ambulation. What do you mean by ambulation? Walking to prevent DVT. Number 4, early food intake to prevent gastric atony. Okay, so these are the only things that we have to remember. If you use PPI for 7 days, you can do that. So the post-operative care will be with these ones. So this completes the post-operative care. Lastly, what are the complications? The complications that you are required to know are intraoperatively. Number 1, bleeding. Which can come from the liver bed and can come from the cystic artery. Now this is technically not very much in your syllabus, but if you are doing an open operation, the maneuver that we require to control is called Pringle maneuver. Pringle maneuver. That Pringle is the chips, that not that chips wala, that Pringle maneuver. So in a bleeding from a cystic artery in an open operation, in that, what happens during a laparoscopy? If it happens during a laparoscopy, then it is better to convert to an open operation. If you delay, your patient will die. That's very simple, or kuch nahi. And please take a control of the artery. And the patient will die. Late or early post-op complications could be bile leak. The number 2 intraoperatively is a bile duct injury, which is something that you are only required to mention in an MBBS. If someone is asking you Strasbourg classification, Bismuth classification, these are not at all in your MBBS syllabus or in your operative card for an MBBS student. So I feel I will not be telling you unnecessarily things. So bile duct injury is only to be known. When I was an MBBS student, even I did not know this. But with the era of lab colis, yes, you should be knowing about a bile duct injury. Bile leaks and delayed appearance of bile duct injury is evident. This is all that you are required to know. Late post-op,
bile leak treatment ki portfolio thala.
Sir, this is a difficult chapter. Bile leaks are definitely classified according to how much amount of bile leaks, if there is any peritonitis, is there a localized collection. That's a very difficult area, sir. I think I will not expect an MBBS to answer.
Percent of cholesterol.
In MBBS?
Yes, sir.
Bile leak? Sir, then difficult for your teacher then. Your teacher should be told you should confine to an MBBS question. This is not at all a postgraduate exam, sir. I teach my postgraduates algorithms of bile leak. I think I will not be doing it at an MBBS. Bile leaks are a very difficult topic, sir, for MBBS student. I will not be. But one single answer if you want to have. Number 1 is a pigtail catheter drainage. If you want me to answer it in a single word, followed by ERCP. But again, you will not understand the meaning of this. So, unnecessarily, these are domains that please do not go. For a 20 marks question, kindly do not enter these domains. These are not at all MBBS areas. Now, in the late post-op, the only complication that I have is a delayed bile duct stricture and a retained CBD stone. The retained CBD stone is much more important at MBBS because it can produce jaundice. So this is what I am interested at an MBBS tier. If you ask me complications, early, I will be asking about the name of the maneuver, Pringle, and early post-op, bile leak. This is maximum that you are required to know. Late post-op, retained CBD stone that produces a jaundice. If you are asked in majority of MBBS exams across India are not going to ask you anything more than this. If you have answered what been asked, then you have crossed the 80% boundary, or you are a very good student, hence it was asked. So with this, I think we'll be ending for the day. Any queries or any questions?
Sir, frozen callot
Recording stopped.
What is a frozen?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Sir,
sir.
Frozen callot. Sir, your exam, remember that this is an MBBS, sir. Sir, I can teach 1 hour on lab coli. I can tell you many things on frozen callot. If you are asked about a frozen callot, I do not know if your teacher has been an examiner or not. But if your teacher is an examiner, then the candidate must be aiming for an honors. In a frozen callot, we go for something called as a subtotal cholecystectomy. A subtotal cholecystectomies are divided into 2 types, type 1 and type 2. If you keep a stump of a gallbladder like this,